So hello everyone, how are you guys doing? This is going to be an informational kind of educational type video. Riley, one of my good friends, very avid stream supporter, came in one day and said, "Hey, I am interested in playing Rainbow Six Siege." And I said, "Are you sure about that?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that." So here we are. I'm going to explain, and again, everything is, this is my own personal opinion from me having like 1,000 hours, right? But I'm going to best justify and explain pretty much everything when it comes to like a beginner's guide, as if like you know nothing about the game Rainbow Six Siege. So what you're going to learn in this video, this is again forwarded to one person in general, but it also works for beginners as well. But what you're going to learn in this game is mechanics. This includes gun skill, gun loadouts, and overall aiming. And then next up, you're going to learn about operator knowledge. This is basically, what does your operator do? How does your operator benefit the team? And what are the synergies with them? Then we're going to talk about map knowledge, which is super important, but that's pretty much your bread and butter for the first like 50, 70 hours. It's learning all the rooms, all the corners, all the angles, everything you need to know to get you out of copper and bronze and to move on to the big leagues, where you actually start learning like, oh shoot, this operator is kind of cool. This operator has this on this map and whatever. The last thing, awareness and discipline. This is how you actually get better. I will talk about that more at the end, but those are just like, that's just some general stuff. But let's get into it. So I have this pulled up and it's in this order for a specific reason. I'm going to break the game down into 10 specific operators that you see here on the operator tab that are going to be relatively easy and safe to learn for your first 10 hours. These operators, honestly, these aren't the best operators in the game. These aren't like overpowered operators. They are just your bread and butter operators for base Rainbow Six Siege that literally everyone in the game knows and recognizes. Everyone knows what Sledge does. He's the poster board for Siege. Everyone knows what Mute does because he counters 90% of gadget utility. Mute just counters 90% of the game, and I think it's important that you pick him up early because a lot of people, even in 200 hours of gameplay, I didn't know everything that Mute does. And not everyone knows what Mute does. There is a comprehensive list right here. If you search up, I think I just searched up Mute on Siege Academy. Siege Academy is a good Reddit for this, for if you want to nerd out on Rainbow Six Siege. But it's a comprehensive list on what Mute jammers actually jam, updated as of 3 months ago. But yes, anyway, as I was saying, there's a lot of stuff to be learned. This is just one operator, by the way. This is what Mute jams. So yeah, all of these operators are very good operators. I say that these are like the first operators you should learn. Now I have some rankings here, right? So this is learn, this is core. Like, this is core Rainbow Six Siege. As I said, learn these and you will, by hour 30, bro, you will be like a demon. You know, if you do things correctly, right, you will become a demon, and you'll be like, oh my goodness, I can do this and that, and like, oh my goodness, the world is so much more clearer. You know, you'll see other like teammates using this, and you're like, all right, so I know that they have that role covered. You know, I don't need a hard reach because someone brought thermite. Or maybe if you know the map enough, right, you can still bring a thermite and an ace, right, because maybe you just need that. But once you learn these operators, the game becomes so much more clear. I'm not expecting you in this video to know any of these operators, even all of these attack operators. Like, I don't expect you to know any of these operators. Yes, some of them are easy, like Blitz. What does he do? He has a shield, right? He has a shield. That's all Blitz does. Glaz, what does he do? He has a sniper rifle. That's literally his whole entire ability, is to have a flashy sniper rifle. Like a scope on your sniper rifle, and it highlights enemies. That's all it does. Pretty simple, but I want you to focus on the core mechanics of Siege so that once you do get into the higher elos or you get more hours into the game, you actually feel comfortable and you're not like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that I should be like staring at the ground and shooting the ground if they bring frost. Like that, those are just some things that like there are core mechanics that you need to learn about Rainbow Six Siege. I think this about covers each and every one of them. So again, mutes. I think mute is a core gameplay mechanic slash loop that you should learn. Again, he counters 90% of all attackers. It's more like, 60, 70. I'm not going to do the math right now, but he counters a lot of attackers. So right here, these are direct counters. I'm not 100% sure. I think all of them are. Some of them are a bit iffy because Rara, like, yeah, he does counter it technically, but like, you have to, it's very situational. You even have stuff like claymores. Like, for example, if you're Ashe and you put a claymore down, right? A claymore is a secondary piece of utility that most attackers have. So, like, you'll see Buck. Let me just list out all the claymore operators. There's a lot of them. See, so I'm already all of these operators that I'm touching right now. They have claymores on them. They have claymores on them. But yeah, you can already see like a majority of the attack operators have claymores or some piece of utility that benefits the team. Next up is going to be smoke. I think this is flex, but smoke is really fun to use. Smoke is fun to use. It takes a little bit more timing and understanding of how to use his gadget, but basically his gadget is literally throw a smoke canister down and it wastes 15 to 20 seconds, right? That's all it does. It wastes 15 to 20 seconds. If they run into it, they take 7 ticks of damage, or 7 damage every like 2 ticks, I believe, something like that. I don't really remember the math on it. I'm not a smoke player, but smoke is integral. These two also have, the SAS operators also have the M10, which is a very good tool for shotgun rotation, stuff like that, making rotations on the fly. They also have the special loadouts, the unique loadouts of the shotgun and pocket SMG, secondary. So that is a very, very good combo. And you'll notice that you will always typically have someone playing that role. And if you don't, you should. You'll win 20% more of your matches just from having someone have that role. This role right here is really, really nice. It just gives you a lot of flexibility on your team. Doc is core, in my opinion. Doc is in a really good state right now. That MP5 kicks. It is really, really nice. It has an ACOG on it as well. He has the bailiff, and then he has barbed wire. Barbed wire is one of the pieces of utility that you should be utilizing the hell out of. Barbed wire, when placed effectively, is sometimes arguably more important than an extra cell. It will grant you kills. I guarantee you that. Barbed wire should be used as intel. It doesn't matter if it gets punched out or if it gets blown up or whatever. Barbed wire is super important. Again, everything has to be placed and utilized effectively, otherwise you will die. Sledge is also a huge one. I'm gonna say it's flex though. I'm not saying you shouldn't learn Sledge. Sledge is literally make a giant hole in the wall, but his gun, as well as Thatcher's, the L85, there's no recoil on it. There is no recoil on it. He has an ACOG. He also has nades and flashes and impact EMPs, although you should really be running nades no matter what. I mean, if no one's playing like Thatcher or whatever, like, just pick up Thatcher because that's the same build. Unless you need a verticality and you need impact EMPs. But at that point, you might as well just go, Sanctuary or something. Or, who is it? Striker. That's her name. But yeah, Sledge is super important. I will say for Frost is experimental. Frost has a very good loadout. She has a deployable shield, which I'll talk about shields later. Shields are my favorite piece of secondary utility. They change up the map a lot. It's like having a reinforcement right in front of you, but then like it's another layer that you have to go through, right? They have to burn utility to knock out your shield, and if you have someone sitting on a shield like the whole game, most likely you're going to win your game, unless they're just camping there. Shields they basically allow for a rotation towards a hallway or a spot that would otherwise be uncontested and attackers can just free roam towards. They allow you to, again, play off-site and help out your team a lot. Next up is Lesion. Lesion, I'm going to say best trap operator in the game, right now during the season. I think you should learn him over Doc, but they kind of fill up the same role, you know? It's just that this one is more focused on damaging your opponents. This one is healing your teammates. So if you need a medic, if you need to play support, or if you want to hold longer angles, go for Doc. Whereas with Legion, if you want to, you can roam with Legion, you can make setups with Legion, because again, you do have that secondary shotgun, and then you also have a very easy to control gun. On top of that, you also have, what else do you have? Oh yeah, your Legion mines are just really good. They do 5 damage, and every like 3 or 4 ticks, they continuously do damage. It also slows your opponents. They can't defuse or anything like that. They can't run while they're in a Legion trap. They have to pull it out, which requires an animation. It is really good and useful, and you get like up to 8 of them. The longer you are alive with Legion, the better it is for your game. Like this, honestly, this has made some rounds before. Like the difference between like Legion being, you know, down here, like if you die and you've only put down 2 Legion traps, you might as well be F tier. But if you are alive, if you're the last man standing as Legion, bro, there's like, you shouldn't be losing that unless it's like a 1v3. And still, even then, if it's a 1v3, that means there's like a 99% chance that like they are going to be walking into some Legion traps. But yes, Legion is super important, very flexible, isn't squishy at all. His secondary gadget utility kind of sucks, but I mean, you're not really picking Legion for the secondary gadget utility. Next up we have Iana. Iana's going to go in experimental, I think. Iana just gives you infinite drones. Iana is helpful whenever you just need the edge on intel. So let's say, for example, they're running mute, right? You can spot out the mute jammers, you can play off of it. You could be like, okay, there's a mute jammer at this doorway. Can someone nade that out? Or better yet, so you could like impact EMP it, walk into the room, do something like that. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with Iana. Iana is support, and then she's kind of like Thermite in a sense, where you do your main task, right? So in this case it's gathering intel. You do your main task and then you just frag out. Her guns are good with fragging out. One of them just does 50 damage basically, but slow fire rate. The other one, it's reverse. High fire rates, but medium damage. Talking about Thermite, let's put Thermites. Yeah, Thermite, honestly, learn this immediately. Easy. It is literally Sledge, but with hard reach. Your one job with Thermites, blow open a giant fucking hole. That is all it is about. You blow open a giant fucking hole, and that's it. You open up angles, you open up opportunities. Most likely you're going to be opening up a hole into sight. In this video, I'm not going to teach you any of like vertical tricks or anything like that. It is literally just going to be base siege. It's going to be teaching you Thermite. You know, just put it on a wall, blow up the wall. That's literally all I'm teaching you. Again, same thing with Iana, as I said. You do your main job and then you frag out. If you're not fragging out as Thermite, what are you doing? You know, like if you got the wall open, that's cool, but you need to play off that as well. You know, with Iana, you did your job, you got the intel, but what is Iana without playing off the intel, right? If you're gonna do that, like if you're gonna gather intel, you might as well play someone like useful, like for example Ying, who has more kill opportunity than Iana. So you have to make use of the tools you're given, right? You have to make use of the opportunity. You have to be like, okay, so why am I playing Iana and not Ying, you know? Or why am I playing Iana and not Ashe? So Thermite, again, blow open a giant fucking hole, walk into it, get some kills. You have flashbangs, which are really, really good. They've been toned down since the earlier days, but they're really, really good. They're still really good. Or you have smoke grenades, which help you, you know, cut off lines of sight, and then you have one of the easiest guns to handle in the game. Like the AR just does 47 damage, and then like you're able to hold long angles with it. Like there's no kick to it whatsoever. So Thermite, very easy. Nomad is your flank denial operator. So if you don't want to watch your back, pick Nomad. You pick Nomad just for that extra protection on the back, right? You can always place down a Claymore, but you know, operators can shoot it. Everyone has a gun in their hand. You can also shoot Nomads. Nomads just make it difficult for people to flank. It also gives you intel. So again, intel is the number one thing you need to know about Rainbow Six Siege. If you have the higher intel, most times you should win. You should win. Like, intel is how you counter strategies, it's how you counter operators, it's how you counter people who have cracked aim on maps. Intel is literally everything in this game. Intel is positioning, intel is awareness. Intel is the difference between knowing that Mute can counter Thermite, and Mute can counter Hibana and Ace and all of these operators, between being like, oh shoot, I didn't know Mute can counter Ace. What am I gonna do now? This gives you intel, this gives you flank denial. You have two moderate guns. You have that, what is it? It's not the AK, it's the same gun that Iana has, though. It does 47 damage. You can choose whichever one you want. I would choose, for you starting out, probably choose the AK-74. Slower fire rates, medium damage, but there's like 50 bullets in it. And at the beginning of your game, because Siege does have naturally higher recoil than other FPS games, I would recommend a gun that has a lot of bullets, just because you're probably going to be missing a lot of your gunfights. Again, that is my unbiased opinion. Like, you know, that is my unbiased opinion. You can have whatever your opinion you want. You know, if you are crazy, if you're cracked and whatever, yeah, go ahead. Switch to the gun that has like 21 bullets in it. But at the beginning of your game, you're going to be missing a lot of those gunfights and a lot of those headshots, and you're not really going to know where to aim all the time. This is just like, you know, my opinion. I don't think it is the best option, AK-74, but once you learn like the base mechanics, the base like core skills that you need to know, you know, the game just becomes easier. So recap, what do we want to learn? Making big holes, you know, that's what the game is about. It's destruction. It is literally the core fundamentals of Siege. You make a big hole, you run in, you plant, you do your objective, whatever it might be. Mute denies that, so denies a push, at least for some time. Sometimes it just denies everything. It can deny intel, so for example, drones. One of the first things you're going to learn about the game, droning. Mute can deny drones straight up, of multiple kinds too. It's not just normal drones. Like operator drones, they get muted as well. Then we have Legion here. Legion is super important. Again, one of the best trap operators. And then to close it off, we have Doc here. Doc is just, you will see Doc in like, I want to say like 70-80% of your games. Doc is just in a really good state right now. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I have here Flex. This is if someone takes your operator. So for example, worry about learning Thermite first. If someone takes Thermite, go ahead and switch to Ace. If someone takes Ace, go ahead and switch to Sledge. All of these are relatively easy operators. You can hop on to them and you will have a good time, and it will make the game so much easier because these operators just have easy to use guns. Like their guns have no recoil to them. Their kits are super versatile and like it's straightforward. Like literally all three of these operators are destruction. That's all it is. You literally destroy things and then move on with your life. Move on to the next objective. And then after that, we have the experimental ones. These ones are like, okay, you've reached 5 hours in the game. You've gotten a couple of dubs, a couple of losses. Now it's time to see like, what can I figure out with a little bit more under my belt, a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more everything. You want to try some new stuff. Just pick these operators up and they're pretty easy to use as well. They share guns, you know, their guns aren't anything crazy. The recoil isn't anything crazy. You don't have to worry about, you know, using some of these other operators. Sometimes you would have to worry about stuff like flanks and whatever. Sometimes you would have to worry about stuff like, oh, I didn't know there's going to be a mute jammer there. And then you can just rotate around the map. These operators just make it really easy to do whatever you need to do. And then again, in Frost's case, Frost is just like easiest gun in the game. Easiest gun in the game. Like you'll see everyone in every single rank use Frost. All of these operators you will see continuously used in every level of play. Maybe not Iana, maybe not Thermite, but you will see them used in every level of play, all the way from Copper, all the way up to Champ, all the way up to Pro League. all the way up to scrims, everything. You will see all these operators being used. The reason why is because they are core to the game. They are essential. This right here is core Rainbow Six Siege. Flank denial. This is your bread and butter Rainbow Six Siege. So now that we know all of that, let's hop into the game. Let's actually look at things and let's actually learn. Let's get into some gun mechanics, some gun aiming, some training, all of that. And let's have some fun, bro. Let's have some fun. So, you've hopped into Rainbow Six Siege, you've loaded up the game. The first thing I want you to do before you do anything else, right? Go through the tutorial, go through everything else like that, you know, check out the operators, check out the screen, all of that. But the first thing that I want you to do once you get the chance to customize and do whatever you want to do, I want you to go to training right here, and I want you to go to the shooting range. That is the first thing that I want you to do. Pick someone like Sledge, one of the base operators that you get with the game. Someone like Thermite, super easy as well. For attack, always have ACOG on. We're in a really big ACOG meta, right? And then all I want you to do is test out recoil and test out what works for you. So in this case, always put on flash hider, always put on vertical. The underbarrel is up to your discretion. Laser is fine, none is also fine. One gives away your position, but I mean, you just have to work on your aim. For now, I would say probably none, but laser also reduces time to aim down sights, as it says right there. All I want you to do is I want you to aim at the center of the board. I want you to hit fire, learn the recoil pattern. That is all I want you to do. So that's what it looks like when you're not controlling recoil at all. And then I just want you to be able to like drag down. So what I usually do is when I'm looking at recoil, I stare off at a certain part, right? I look at the uncontrolled recoil. I'm like, okay, that's not too bad. So all I'm aiming for here is being able to control the recoil so that when I actually head into the match, like I'm not worried about, oh my goodness, you know, my aim went over there, or whoa, my aim is so high, right? I just want you to be able to land a headshot. Land a single headshot. Any of them works. I want you to be able to control your recoil. If you can control it in a straight line, that's all that matters. And again, this is what I want you to be doing for like maybe like not an hour, but like maybe like 30 minutes, right? When you're hopping onto a new gun, when you're hopping onto a new operator and you want to try out the operator, like let's say you want to go to Yana, right? All I want you to be able to do is be able to get it so you're able to beam, right? And you might have to reset your recoil a little bit more times, right? So for me, like the difference, this was the second try, this is like the 5th try, right? I want you to be able to get it tighter and tighter and tighter with every single try until it becomes muscle memory, basically. So like that right there, that is already way better than this was the first attempt, second attempt. I think this is like a mini attempt. This is like the 3rd attempt. And then you have this right here, which is way tighter than everything else. That is what I want you to be aiming for, right? If that is a head, I'm hitting that headshot like 90% of the time, which is really good. Again, the idea is so that you can build up the muscle memory so that when you're aiming down sights and when you're shooting at someone, right? It doesn't just, whoa, the aim goes to the ceiling, right? I know that's super exaggerated, but that's literally what you see in some matches. I mean, you've seen on a Twitch stream, so like that's literally what some people do, and I don't really understand it. Whether you're on PC or console, I don't really understand how your aim just sometimes goes to the ceiling. I can understand it with like SMGs and stuff like that, because again, SMGs are a little bit harder to control. That's their, like, if you look at the recoil pattern down there, that is literally the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd shot recoil pattern. So let's just see this uncontrolled. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, you only get 17 bullets in the chamber, but if you think about it in terms of all the other guns, they technically have the same recoil pattern, right? This didn't go too much further than the other 2 guns did, right? That's way higher than the other 2 guns, but I mean, you see the point, right? Like eventually you get to a point where it's like, oh dang, you can actually just make this a beamer. Once you get the muscle memory like built up and you're like, okay, this is how this gun moves, it will make the game feel so much easier and smoother because you don't really have to work on gun skill anymore. right? So once you're able to do something like that instead of something like this, then you could start playing around with everything else besides the guns. The name of the game, first person shooter, control your gun. I want you to become really decent with your mechanical aim. So that's what this first segment of the video is literally just controlling your mechanical aim. The operators that I gave you to toy around with and learn and play with, these operators are super easy. Their guns are super easy to control as well. So Sledge, let's look at that L85 again. There's no recoil on this gun. See, when I try to drag down versus other guns, it literally goes negative. And that's something you should also be looking at too, is if I'm dragging down and it's dragging way down, you need to be able to be like, okay, so this gun is very easy to control. Let's stop dragging down so much and instead let's get it, centered. Let's center that aim, make sure that we're not dragging down like this, and let's make sure that when we actually hop into a match, it's neither going up nor is it going down like that. It is staying perfectly still. That is what I want you to be doing for your first, like, maybe even if you do start every game, like every game session, starting out with shooting range, that would be more beneficial than just hopping into TDM and being like, man, I really can't kill these guys. Why are they so much better than me? Well, I mean, they have everything against you. They have, experience. They have gun skill. They know how the game works. If you really want the edge on people, work on your mechanical skill, and then knowledge comes second. You can always train people, you can always teach people how to play this game. It's not that hard. It is really not that hard to teach people. Sledge hits things. He goes up to things and he hits them. And he breaks them. That's all Sledge does. Now let's move on to the next operator, right? Thatcher EMPs people. Not that hard to understand. Has the same guns as Sledge as well. Super easy, right? Ash blows stuff up. It's not that hard to teach like these unique abilities. What is harder to teach though is the muscle memory behind shooting a gun and just not having that muscle memory, for lack of a better word. But yes, gun skill above all else, mechanical aim above all else. And let's hop into an actual map and let's show you where you should be aiming. This will be the last process, the last step to your mechanical aim and getting good at the game, quote unquote good. So another training tool that you have to your disposal is the versus AI and the map training. Right now we're gonna go to map training and I'm gonna teach you Oregon. A lot of people know this map. All the maps that are gonna be featured today, like a lot of people in the game have general knowledge on, so like I guarantee you, even coppers know the full layout of Oregon. It is just super easy to understand and picture. So this one right here is a good showcase of, where to be aiming for head level. A lot of people will say head level, but you don't really, because you're just learning about the game, right? You don't really know where head level is. But if you see, everyone has a specific head level. So if I shoot right here, right? One shot headshot game. It's going to kill. If I shot 2 bullets, I would have killed that person and then this person. But this is realistically where head level is. If you look on the concrete blocks right here, this is where head level is going to be. So if I point that and I go a horizontal path, right? Head level right there, boom. That is going to kill no matter what. Doesn't matter if I use a pistol, doesn't matter if I use a shotgun, it is always going to kill no matter what. That is head level. This is where headshot level is. It's kind of like 3/4 of the way up, so 75%, right? This is like the other, that's like the other 25% that we didn't see, right? So 3/4 of the way up from the bottom. Now we're able to combine everything and you're able to do stuff like swinging, right? So you're able to swing into this angle. You're able to lean, right? Leaning just gives you an advantage. You're able to see your target much faster than if you're just normal ADS like this. So you're able to lean like this, and then you'll see them faster. So now if I just combine that, so I take everything I've learned, right? This is head level right here. I peek, boom, I'm able to kill them. Super easy, recognizable. Again, head level right here, so you're able to see it really well with these bricks right here. It's kind of, on this one, it's kind of weird. But yeah, some of the walls have it. It's like a little bit higher than that brick. So a little bit higher than this brick right here. You will see that right there is head level. So if I just slide this across, head level right there. So now you're able to add everything together. Peek, boom, kill. Now you can clear corners. You already know about recoil. Recoil is super easy. Now we know, okay, so head level is right here, right? We shot it. And now for crouched, you just have to aim a little bit lower. Just a little bit lower. Just a little bit lower. Right? And now you're able to just walk through and kind of, you know, be like, okay, so this is where everything goes. Take note of kind of like everything. Appreciate everything that you're given, all the tools you're given to have success in this game, right? So if we're using that 75% rule, it's like right here, a little bit higher than the brick right here, and we're able to look right there. Super easy, head level. Same if you look over there, right? 75%. I'm going horizontal, right? Super easy. It was a little bit higher, but somewhere right here. Slide over, boom, right there. If we're crouched, it's gonna be a little bit lower. I want to say it's like 40% of the way up. So like maybe like right here. If you're crouched, somewhere like right here. Slide that over, boom, easy. Easy, 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 easy peasy. So right here for outside, right? So head level is like right in the middle of the X. A little bit above the middle of the X, so like right here, right? Head level right there. So if I'm peeking in and there's an enemy, oop, I see him, headshot right there. And yeah, it's super easy. I'm able to just walk through and kind of clear enemies. Get used to using your gadgets as well. So Sledge is perfect for this because, again, you're able to just break stuff. You're able to break stuff, develop new lines of sights, learn how the game works, and kind of combine everything that we learned, right? So far we've learned mechanical aim, you know, keeping your recoil still and all of that. Next up, we're going to learn about operators and their abilities. Super simple. Okay, so in my opinion, the best place to learn about operators is experience. Experience them first and foremost. Pretty easy, right? So Sledge, we were in map training. We learned what a sledgehammer does, right? You break things. On this operator tab, will also tell you what all the operators do. So let's switch to defense, right? Smoke. Remote gas grenade sets remote detonated gas charges. What's also interesting is you're able to look at the operator guides, which if you're a new player are super important and vital for learning about what they do. There's also an operator video for all of the legacy operators, aka the starting like 20 of the roster. But in these operator guides, you're able to see such things as like, okay, so this is the button for, you know, using your gadgets. And then once you use your gadgets, you're able to look and see what it does in that animation. And then you're able to learn about stuff like barbed wire and stuff like that, secondary utility, anything that the operator has and is given and is able to use, right? So if you want to learn what castle does, for example, just go to operator guides, click on castle, go to operator guides, and then there you're able to learn, oh, this is what a castle barricade does. Super easy to understand, right? And let's also talk about operator synergies. Operator synergies are super important. This will also talk about benefiting the team and what exactly your operator provides. So if you look on here, you're able to filter by what kind of operator, you know, each operator is. So for example, if I want a trap operator, I can highlight that and learn that, oh, Alibi is a trap operator. I guess you're right. I would assume that she's just intel though. But yeah, sure, she is a trap operator. So again, what does your operator do? Smoke, trap operator, super easy. If you want to learn more about different operators, again, you have this filter by tool, which allows you to filter by whatever you're looking for. So if you want something that gives you more support on your team, right? Let's say, you know, you didn't know Rook was a support operator. Well, what does Rook do? Let's just look at it. Operator bio. He has a briefcase full of armor plates. All right, that's pretty simple to understand. You're also able to look at attack operators, do the same thing. So if you want something like frontline, like you want to get frag heavy, right? These are all your fraggers. As I said before, Iana. Oh shoot, she's frontline, she's intel. super key, super vital. As I said, you're gathering that intel and then you're fragging out. That's pretty much your main job as Iana. So we played on Oregon. I'm going to show you a different map that I think is pretty good to learn in your first 10 hours. This is a map that gets played heavily. The map I'm going to show you is Coastline. This is the most, like, because it is small, it is a little bit more TDM heavy. But all I want you to do is, it's also only 2 floors, so it's easy to understand, relatively easy to understand. Since it's so few floors, there are less rooms that you have to memorize. All I want you to do is, for this map, go to main entrance. I want you to pick an operator that you understand. So since we've been playing Sledge heavily, let's play Sledge. And I just want you to walk through all the rooms, look at the compass, and utilize that. Every time you enter a new room, right? So right here, exterior main entrance. That's where I'm at. That's where I spawned. Every time you enter a new room, say it out loud audibly. This will help you with getting to learn callouts. So let's go through here. Main lobby. This is the entirety of main lobby right here. As soon as I hit a doorway right here, it's going to change. But this right here, including the desk, is the entirety of main lobby. So I've hit main lobby. Next up, toilets. Easy to understand. It's just a bathroom, right? Toilets. Service entrance. Pretty easy to understand. Oh, what's this? Another room. Reception right here. Easy to understand. Service entrance. This is a bomb site. It's pretty easy. Kitchen, right? Super easy to understand. All of this is kitchen. It's a kitchen. It's super easy to understand. And just go through all the rooms and look at how many rooms there are. How many callouts there are, everything like that. Use your operator abilities and just go through all the rooms. Look at all the callouts and learn. Learn every single room. And then after you learn every single room, I want you to focus on every single corner. So where are the hiding places? Where can people be, right? So there's an enemy right here. Let's say I was walking up these south stairs right here, right? And now, because I know that there can be an enemy here, because I already know the map, because I already covered the map, I've already looked through the map, all I want you to do is get used to being like, so there can be an enemy there. So I'm going to aim my crosshairs so that I am protected in every way, shape, or form. Get used to protecting yourself with your gun, right? Because that's how you play the game, right? In order to survive, you need to kill. So this right here, again, this is what it looks like. I'm clearing this angle. There's no one there. I don't see anyone. So let me clear this angle. Super easy. All right, no one's here. I'm covering the hallway. Easy. No one's there. And now I move on to the next one. Oop, there's an enemy. There's another enemy, right? And now there's another enemy right there. Easy. I'm clearing angles, right? I'm clearing all the corners, right? And all you have to do to learn this game and learn map knowledge is literally do as I said. So go through every single room, learn to call out, learn all the corners. So for example, people will sometimes hide right here. Good hiding spot, no one can see you here, right? But if you know people can be there, then next time you play this map, you're going to be like, okay, so maybe someone is there. So I'm just going to nade that out real quick. I don't see anyone. The nade went off. No one's there, obviously. I don't see anyone. Nice. Now I can move on, gather more intel. So this is Hall of Fame that I'm walking through. I didn't see anyone in Hall of Fame when I was walking in here. So let's clear every corner. I'm clearing the corners, clearing all available angles. There's a corner right here. No one's there. Easy. I'm clearing everything. Clear, clear, clear. Hallway. Oop, there's a guy right there. Oop, there's another guy right there, right? So we cleared all VIP. Looking at the hallway, right? We've already cleared this hallway over here, by the way. This 90 hallway right here. We've already cleared this before when we went through theater right here, and then we went through penthouse and then Hall of Fame. This is what I want you to get used to. Clearing every single angle and getting used to having your gun up and being like, oh, shoot, these are all the angles. Because once you do that, you can combine everything. And you could do some really cool stuff where it's like, so I know how the map layout is. I know where all the available corners are. So I'm going through here, right? Let's peek theater right here. Let's peek all of penthouse. And then, you know, they made a rotation right here, let's say, into VIP. So now I have to clear VIP differently. And now I haven't cleared out Hall of Fame. Nice. Hall of Fame is all clear. So now you're able to combine everything. So let's say, right, we start from bathroom again. There's a rotation right here, right? So instead of just being able to, or just having to worry about theater and then penthouse right here, you also have to worry about Hall of Fame because there is an open slot right here. If someone's on the opposite side of this, when you drop, or when you're in bathroom, they can swing on you for free, right? So instead of just dropping, you have to either gain intel and be like, okay, I'm on my drone, right? Hall of Fame is all clear, right? VIP, oh, I don't see anyone, no one's here, right? Let me clear the back of VIP. No one is here, easy. And then you just go through the motion of clearing everything, right? Anyone over here? Nope. I already threw a nade over there, right? No one's over there. And now I'm just clearing everything, right? Clearing, clearing, clearing. There's new angles here, so maybe there's someone there. Nope, doesn't look like it. Clearing VIP, already cleared the drone, but let's be cautious anyway. No one back VIP, no one is rotated. Easy, let's go on to the hallway, and easy. This is the flow and movements of everything that I want you to get used to. Just get used to clearing angles and get used to clearing different rooms, right? That's all I want you to get used to. So again, I use this because it helps me clear angles, as I said, but sometimes it will be like as simple as someone hiding in a bathroom, right? That can throw you off your game. If you've never known about this angle, or, you know, let's say there's someone above you, right? So this right here is another angle. So let's say people are coming through the main entrance right here. They go through main lobby. Then you have this south stairs right here. Pretty easy, right? But this is an angle that you should be worried about as well. If you see any holes or anything like that, I want you to be worried about everything. Be cautious about your surroundings, right? That's a very deliberate hole. Because then what happens is you can mess with verticality. Again, with Sledge, the usefulness of Sledge is that you're able to open up angles. Let's say I open up the service entrance right here. Very easy, right? Main lobby. And now I'm able to peek into kitchen, into service, into hallway. I have more angles I can cover. I have an entrance into service rather than being funneled through main lobby, having to go through toilets, and then service. Another walkway, right? Again, as I said in the beginning, go through the motion of naming out everything that you see on a compass at the bottom of your screen. So right here, main entrance, that's where I spawned. Main lobby, okay, that's where I spawned. Right here, south stairs again, second floor. Now I'm in a hallway, okay. There are new potential angles over here. Theater, right? Have your gun up. Clearing angles, clearing anywhere anyone can be, right? Penthouse right here, easy. There could always be, there can easily be someone over here. There could easily be someone over here. Just clear all those angles, go through the motions. It will help you out in actual games. And as you go through all these motions, you'll develop a muscle memory. You'll be able to actually do these in games. And once you see the sciences add up, you'll be like, oh my goodness, I understand this game so well. You're able to take regular general knowledge and be like, okay, so this makes more sense. What can I do to elevate my gameplay? As I said, use your operator utility. So let's say you want to get used to looking at vertical angles, right? Well, Sledge is perfect for that. So now I know that this angle is possible. Interesting. I didn't know that was there before. Let's just go through the motion like if you're going through ruins and then you go on top of a balcony, right? You're able to look, you're able to be like, okay, so this is what it looks like from up here. Use your operator abilities, clear, boom, boom, easy, bada bing, bada boom. I don't fucking know. But yeah, that's pretty much Rainbow Six Siege in a nutshell. The only other thing that I'm gonna say is awareness and discipline. Awareness is simply knowing what's going on in the game. So if I'm playing a game and I'm Sledge, right? If I'm making sledge holes above, it is simply knowing that someone can flank you at any time. Someone can throw a C4 at you at any time. What operators do they have? Do they even have a C4? Like, let's say it's castle, let's say it's smoke, let's say it is dock, let's say it's rook, let's say it is Tachanka. These are all operators that do not have a c4. So if you know that they don't have a c4, you can play a little bit more aggro on that floor, and you're able to open up angles because you know they can't kill you easily through the ground anymore. But yeah, it's just awareness, figuring out like, okay, so I'm above and I'm opening up angles. Because I'm opening up angles, that means they can also see me through these angles, right? So maybe you want to add some variation to your angles rather than simply opening up all the angles in the world. So maybe you open up one spot over here, one spot over here. That's how you use sledge effectively. Once all of these things start making sense and you start adding up, the clues together, you're able to perform way better than you would be able to without all this knowledge. Again, Rainbow Six Siege at the end of the day is a knowledge game. It's knowing the difference between sledge and someone like Ram. Ram. So like, why would you need a Ram? Why would you need a sledge? What is the variation between them? What do they do well? What do they not do well? It is knowing the difference between when you need a thermite and when you need an ace, right? That is awareness. It is knowing that, oh, so we already have a hard breacher. Maybe I could hop onto something like Thatcher, right? Thatcher will make it easier for my hard breacher, and then we're able to actually succeed with a hard breach. Instead of being like, okay, so we brought all hard breachers, but there's no hard breach now, so we can't even get the wall open anyway. It is simply knowing everything that you need to about the game. It is knowing that, oh, the F2 has more kick than the 5.56. It is knowing that, oh, Monty is a shield operator, thus he does not have an assault rifle or anything. He's limited to only a pistol. So if you want to get in gunfights, you have to work off of a pistol, which means you have to train your pistol aiming, and you have to be able to aim at the head. It is knowing that Glaz is stuck with a marksman rifle as his primary gun. And he does have that bearing 9, but you're mainly going to be using that marksman rifle. Discipline. This is how to actually get better. I'm gonna teach you how to be disciplined in one sentence. It is simply knowing that, and you can quote me on this. You can quote me on this, right? You can quote me on this. You can quote me on this. I don't know how many times I said that, but it is simply knowing that it is always 100% your fault, not your team's. And you're not going to understand that at hour 1. You're not going to understand that at hour 2. You're not going to understand that at hour 100. You might not even understand that at hour 500. But it is always going to 100% be your fault if you die. If you die, there's always something you could have done better. And this is how you develop a humble mentality. It's called a humble mentality, is being able to support yourself and motivate yourself rather than negate others and create a negative cesspool inside yourself and never want to play Siege ever again. Because, let's be honest, Siege is quite toxic. You'll find a lot of toxic people there who spread negativity rather than positivity. It is simply knowing that if you die, or if you are first picked, or anything like that, or if you miss your gunfight, yes, it is 100% your fault. If you die with 3 Ying Candelas in your pockets, it is your fault. If you die and you used all of your Ying Candelas but you didn't get a single kill, and you didn't get anyone killed, you didn't help out with anything, then it is your fault. If you didn't use your utility at all, it is your fault that you died. It isn't anyone else's. Don't blame it on positioning, because you could have changed that as well. Siege is an intel game, it's a knowledge game, it's also mechanical awareness. That is the lesson in today's video. So here's the thing. You have to know what you can control and what you can manipulate, and use those variables to your advantage. Siege is a knowledge game above all else, and if you're truly serious about anything, then this video will help you out. Again, this was catered towards one individual in particular. Riley, obviously, communicates a lot in my chats, but this goes for anyone who is learning Siege from the ground up. Siege X is about to release, and I'm super excited. I think there's going to be a lot more people playing the game. I don't know if that's true, though. I don't really know how it's going to trend. It could stay, like, it could stay neutral, But I mean, I'm really hoping that a lot more people get into the game. This was just something that I was like, okay, I might as well whip up a video. It's been a while since I've done a constructive like essay type video, which this honestly wasn't an essay type video. I would have made an essay type video, but I was just short on time. But again, I hope you enjoy all the tips I gave you. Dude, this video kind of took a little bit to make, I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably gonna edit it down to like crazy minuscule clips, but I kind of did a lot of yapping in this one, which I normally do, and I know I'm doing it right now, but like I didn't think it would, like, it took me like a full hour just to do the first like part of it, and I was like, no way, no way, I just spent an hour doing this. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping it stays under an hour. But again, I did a lot of yapping. I talked a whole bunch about the game. If you can't tell, I'm passionate about this game. You can also see me playing a lot of this game on my Twitch channel. YouTube side is probably gonna be like more like not necessarily Rainbow Six Siege content. It is just really hard for me to get Siege content on YouTube because it's like when I do record, it's like I'll dedicate like a whole day to just recording Siege content, and then sometimes I won't even get any Siege content. And then in that time, I could be streaming and already have that Siege content. So, and yes, I have considered making clips from the Twitch channel, but I have to figure out a few more logistics. Otherwise, it's just not going to look pretty.